I like it. Traditional, much like the Brumbies' original jersey, like the colours. We went down that path last year, and it's a slightly different jersey, but I think it'll be popular amongst the fans and certainly popular with the boys.
Was there always a plan to sort of honour the heritage of the Brumbies, do you think?
Yeah, I think so. I think there was one year there where we went away from our traditional type jersey, and I think it's, if we were honest, the fans probably weren't all that wrapped with it. So it's nice to go back to a jersey that both the players, staff, the organisation, and the community really appreciates and feels a part of.
It's important for the club culture, sort of paying heritage to the history of the club.
Yeah, I think so. I think the Brumbies have. We're certainly not the oldest club, but we've got a proud history, and we want to make sure that we always pay respect to that.
It's going to take a little bit more than a new jersey though next season.
Oh, of course, yeah. It's going to take a lot of hard work, a lot of planning, organisation. It's all well and truly in the middle of the process has started now. So, yeah.
How are the boys enjoying the heat for pre-season?
Yeah, it was hot today. Probably benefited from not training this afternoon, to be honest, where it'll be even hotter. But yeah, you can't underestimate the conditions at this point in time. So it was. We got lucky there for a few weeks. It was a little bit overcast, actually quite cool for this time of year. But yeah, the last week in particular, it certainly has an impact.
And you'll run the boys right up to Christmas?
Yeah, we're training through until Friday. So this is the last week of a big 4 weeks.
Have you guys tweaked the schedule this week just to keep them out of the extreme heat?
No, well, as I said, I think if we had trained this afternoon, you probably would have had to have done something like that. We're training this afternoon, but it's not our team. Where it's an intense conditioning session, so it's more unit-based this afternoon. So I think it was 28 degrees when Peter Ryan told me when we kicked off training this morning. So that's probably a lot more bearable than 39 that's anticipated for a couple of hours.
And there's always usually talk about whether guys have hit their fitness targets and that sort of stuff. Are you happy with where the squad is at the moment? Are there blokes who need to lose a little bit, get a bit fitter, or? Oh
yeah, there's always a couple of guys. That's the nature of rugby union. It's a sport that has a fit for all body shapes, and we've certainly got all of those shapes covered. But so no, look, most of the team are in good condition. A lot of guys have managed to complete every session of this 4-week block so far, touch wood. So hopefully that continues, and we all get through this 4-week period in really good shape. But overall, from a conditioning point of view, from a rugby development, rugby knowledge point of view, I think we're in a pretty good position 4 weeks into the program.
Without wanting to jinx anything, have you got any blokes that? Have you got anyone who's in doubt for start of the season, or you're expecting full squad at the moment?
No, obviously Benny Hines a long-term injury, and then the other guys that are in the rehab group at the moment: Rory Arnold, Nick Mayhew, Tom Cusack. I'm missing someone there. Leslie Macon. I mentioned Leslie Macon. So yeah, all of those guys should be right come January.
What about Carts? We're about to chat to him as well. How do you think he can take his game forward next year?
Oh, I think he started that already, Carts. I think just the changes we're going to make to how we play the game hopefully will suit the areas that he wants to improve, in particular for his game. But he's in, I reckon, the best shape I've seen him in since I've been at the Brumbies, leading by example through his actions on field and then obviously off field as well through his leadership. So, but Carts is always in good condition. That's the strength of his game, is his work rate. He's got a very big engine, but I think he's probably taken that to another level.
When you say the areas that he wants to improve, he obviously wanted, or he's been told to be more physical to get back into the Wallabies. Is that something that he'll have more of an opportunity to do?
Oh, I think so. Yeah, I think just through how we play the game, making sure that if Carts is carrying the ball, that there's other options for the defence to think about, just little things like that. So that makes your carry easier. We can create more one-on-one tackle contests, allows the ball carrier to be dominant and show his physicality with the ball. But I think he's a very good ball carrier. He's got great agility for a big guy, and as I said, he's got repeat efforts in him. So it's he knows the areas that he wants to continue to work on to get back in the Wallabies, and if he can improve in those areas, it's going to be a bonus for us.
When are the other players coming back?
Other players will be back January 7 on the Sunday we'll have a team barbecue and a get together, and then the 8th we're back into it. So that's the Wallabies, and then Christian and David will be back middle of January.
Okay, so that doesn't leave too long, does it, with both Christian and David? You're quite comfortable that they're going to be right to start the season?
Yeah, I think, look, both those players in the past, they've been involved in Wallaby teams anyway and spring tours, and you wouldn't see them till that point in time anyway. I think, you know, the form that Christian's showing for Ulster, that's going to be a bonus and a benefit for us. And look, they're smart footballers, that they've been around the game and been around this club a long time, and they'll fit back into our program seamlessly in terms of how we want to play. And look, I've been talking to them and making sure that I'm keeping them in the loop with what's going on here, so that it's not information overload when they do get back.
What about the captaincy? When are you going to decide on that? Have you set a date that you sort of...
Probably January. Early, middle to late January. We'll have a camp at some point in time. I've started to think about that now, but we'll make a decision once we've been back in training a couple of weeks into that post-Christmas block.
Pocock and Christian are obviously captaincy candidates just because of their credentials and stuff like that, but the fact that they come in a month before the season, does that weigh into your thinking that there's guys here that perhaps have established relationships and that sort of stuff, or are they the type of guys that have the respect that when they come back in it doesn't matter?
Yeah, I think they've got the respect of the players. We'll certainly, the guys that are on board now and that are in a leadership position, they're not just going to be cast aside and forgot about when we get a whole heap of senior players back. We'll make sure that there's flow on there and continue to develop whoever those leaders are. But in and around the captaincy, yeah, David and Christian are certainly guys that are candidates for the role. Christian was a captain last year, more in a non-playing role. So those guys will be considered, as will Sam Carter and others.